Hello from Kentucky. So we went to the NRA convention with a few buddies, and Brian shot me a message, bcbloc02, and said, hey, swing by and check out the shop. And I met Brian at our open house. He won the phase converter, and I actually started watching some of his channels, because when we were thinking about building a building on our farm, I was trying to learn something about building buildings, and Brian has an awesome series, which you guys should check out. There's a link here on totally retrofitting this barn. We'll walk over in a minute, but really impressive. At the moment, we are packing away the Ohio Ordnance Works BAR, which was Brian brought out for us, 30-06, and he took JP muzzle brake. Where is that? Yeah, and what'd you do?
I made an adapter that fits the BAR thread, and then it's just a regular, I think it was 5/8,
24 or something.
24, I think, regular muzzle brake thread, and just screw that on there.
It shot like a, I mean, literally shot like a 22. There's nothing. So, and of course, no misses.
Yeah, of course, I'd open that up. Yeah. You mean when I shot?
Yeah. That was really cool. Here's some pictures us shooting it. It's funny too, because we had a great time at the convention, and we drove up here today, like only an hour from Louisville, and it's like the first day this year where it's hot, so it's super nice to be outside. But let's check out that barn and Brian's shop real quick. So here we are, and seriously, what Brian's doing here, I think is impressive, both because it's just like cool, like this is what life's all about, being able to do this kind of stuff, but he's also, you're doing most of it on your own.
Pretty much, yeah, done all this myself.
He's got a massive 15-ton overhead crane, bridge crane, which he was showing us how he's going to lay the machines out. We got to go check out some of these machines too, but you'll be able to get to the table.
Everything will be underneath the hook. All the tables for the horizontal mill and my Cincinnati mill and my CNC will all be, the tables out underneath of the bridge crane, so the crane will be able to access everything.
Yeah.
Any machine. I can pick up a roll or a plate or an engine block or whatever and take it anywhere in the building on the hook.
It's awesome. But this thing started, I actually only made it through a few of his videos so far, but I mean, it's literally started as kind of a rundown barn, and you jacked up the side. Look at all that new clapboard siding.
Yeah, replaced every post on this side because they were all rotted out, and jacked everything up, got it all level and true. The crane was, I poured these concrete piers in here and got them all laser set to where they were within less than 1/8 of an inch variance anywhere in this building. So when I built all the steel, I was able just to bolt it together and it all fit. Every hole went in. I didn't have to ream anything out or recut any of the holes. Over 613/16 holes. So, it took a little while.
It's awesome. I was asking Brian, I was like, so how did you figure out the structural load and all the math? And he was like, well, I got a master's in mechanical engineering. So that's nice to have in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, do all the load calculations on everything. Be sure that there's no issues for shear. This crane, actually, the steel it can go over 50,000 pounds with a 2-to-1 factor of safety.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's actually the limitations are deflection more so than what the actual steel will hold, because you don't want crane to bow down, because if it does, you can't roll it out.
Right.
So it needs to stay where it doesn't move. I forget what it is now. I think 1/8 of an inch is the max deflection in any of these steel beams in here with the 30,000 pound load.
Full load, right.
Yeah.
Holy cow. So Brian was talking to me about what's going on in his new shop, and I knew he'd had that Cincinnati horizontal, but he started talking about something. I was like, wait, you got an HBM? He's like, yeah, come on over here. So he picked up this G&L
340T.
340T horizontal boring machine, and it is just awesome. And he's had it sitting here, and he's basically waiting to build his barn. Look at that. Look at that crank.
4-inch spindle, 30-inch travel. Wow. 120 on the bed length, 48 vertical and 96 cross.
48 vertical, 8 foot on your, what do you call it, the X?
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you've never seen one of these things before, that's torn apart, and over there are your two travel tables. So the thing weighs, what do you say it weighs? 42,000 pounds?
Yeah, 42,000 when it's assembled. So.
But I mean, you can do huge work by, you can set a whole block up on one of these things, get it dialed in, and then you've got this ability to drill or bore in. Really cool.
This table also, it's set up for stop blocks in both directions, actually, for setups. You can angle off of any of these T-slots for doing setups like with gearboxes and things. You can put blocks in there and indicate over to that and hold your work where it can't slide or move around on the table when you're doing big work. It's really important to be able to hold the stuff where it doesn't move, because a lot of times they're just rough castings and they're not machine surfaces to go off of anyway. So you've got to be able to block the stuff in to where it doesn't walk off on you while you're machining it, or it all goes to pot.
Right. Wow. So I told Brian, I was like, this is really cool. We'll go see his other shop, that's up and running. But to think that you got a machine like this sitting here just waiting to get your barn built, man, that's a good reason to get.
It's a motivator. So it's been a 2-year project on getting this done. So
Cool. All right, let's go see his shop. That's Bailey.
shop dog.
I really actually wanted to say on camera, I want to say thanks, because you guys have seen we've been going through so much kind of learning with lathe toy, and Brian actually has been, you read some of his comments on our channel, like super helpful. He actually I think I threw it in the car, but he gave me a CNMP Kennametal tool, so that's a positive
rake on a negative insert.
Yeah, which will be awesome. And he was saying that you get great life out of the tool.
Yeah, it's really tough. It cuts super free. It's great if you're doing long stick outs on something and you don't want a lot of tool deflection. You're getting a negative tool pushing it off. So
yeah, so we'll give that a try. I got to show off this cart. First of all, take a look at the tooling for the Giddings and Lewis, the 6 Morse taper holders. It's like a whole nother size. I think he had, here's one. I mean, literally, this probably weighs 15 pounds. And that doesn't even have the head on it.
yeah, no cutter, just a bare tool.
And then you take a look at some of the, I think this is actually for, Brian's also got a Cincinnati Millicron CNC mill, 60 by 30 by 30, sitting in storage. So again, that barn's got to get built, because look at this kind of metal end mill. Is that what you call this?
So yeah, that's an end mill. You can do side milling with it. 4-inch diameter, 6-inch cut, 1 pass.
Crazy. I love this. Is like literally, it's so cool.
Big tooling.
Yeah.
And all this beaver tooling, which is a quick change 50 taper. So face mills.
Yeah, my God.
Spline cutters.
Awesome.
Got all. If it needs made, it can probably do it.
Yeah, so Brian does a ton of work on things like this, which are big John Deere tractor parts, which just huge and cool. Actually, he's got a big block in his shop right here. Yeah, boom.
Yeah, it's a mock-up block I use for doing setups off of. If I need to get a height or dimension for doing a custom thing for a customer, I've got it here I can measure off of to get dimensions and test fits and things like that. So
here's his
the Monarch, the #1 money maker in the shop.
So is this like Adam's Monarch that he used to have?
This is one size bigger than Adam's Monarch.
Oh, no kidding.
So
no.
Like the real big one he had when they were at booth machine. No, it's not as big as that.
Okay, got it.
So his is a 16-inch. This is an 18-inch.
Got it. Well, you got way more bed length than his.
Yeah, I've got 8-foot bed length. I think his might be 48 or 60, maybe at the most. So this one's got an extra leg under it for bed support. But I can do a 8-foot shaft in between centers, and it'd be less than 1,000 variance in dimension without changing anything on the compound.
Yeah, without bumping it. So we walk in here, and the first thing he said was, Adam's got that little KNT. So Adam, there's a little dig at you, because this thing is, I guess it's all relative, because we just saw that Giddings Lewis, but this thing is beastly too.
Yeah, 6-foot tall mill. So it's got this is a 80-inch table by 20 on this machine. So
how much does this thing weigh?
This one is between 14 and 16,000 pounds.
Holy cow! It was cool,
got
actually.
25 horse motor in this one though, so it's got more horse than
so
that's what I need the 50 horse phase converter for.
Yeah, so it's kind of so funny. Like that's the machine he won at the NYC CNC open house, which is cool to see it in. And there's his old. He actually did a little video comparison
But mine's missing the sticker on it that says NYC CNC.
We'll take care of that in a minute. I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna try to hide one on that Giddings and Lewis, but this thing's really cool. It's awesome to see this. It really is cool to see this big machinery. But then it's funny because look at this. We just bought a tool just like this from Sandvik to do some work on stainless pulleys, and it's a little radius. Ours is 2 millimeter. That's a little bit bigger, but he was using that sticking out to do face grooving, and because it's got stick out, you can rotate this to the depth of the insert and not worry about the fact that you don't have the proper face grooving tool right here because you're only going as deep as the insert is sticking out. Is that fair description?
Only cutting 35 deep on a 125 insert. So
yeah,
I got clearance.
And the rake, is it the rake of that button?
Yeah, since this is a groove and turn tool, it's designed to both be able to plunge in and turn side to side. It's got relief on both sides of the cutter, so you don't end up with it rubbing on the inside of your groove.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, with that, folks, unfortunately, I'm going to run out of battery. So Brian and John here saying hello and goodbye, and we'll see you soon. Brian, thanks a lot for having me, man.
Glad to have you.
Really cool to see the shop.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Take care, folks. See you soon.